The subject of our concerns, which is visa overstays. Most of the time when we talk about the flaws of our immigration system, we talk about border security as being the paramount concern. And for me, it is, obviously, coming from Texas with the 1,200-mile common border, and notwithstanding the great work being done by the Border Patrol, it still remains a vulnerability, and we are working hard to come up with some proposals that will help address that. But the one vulnerability that seems to be overlooked is visa overstays, people who enter our country legally and then who overstay their visa and simply melt into the great American landscape. And as I think about it, while I understand the desire of people coming from other countries perhaps to immigrate to the United States because of economic or security conditions, it is almost more offensive to me that people come into our country legally and in spite of the courtesy and that we demonstrate to them by allowing them to come in temporarily, they exploit that and take advantage of it and violate our immigration laws. There are a number of reasons why people stay beyond the period of their visa. They may have family in the United States or seeking a better life and economic opportunity. Some are seeking refuge or asylum, and others may in fact seek to be just doing us harm. Whatever the reason, we have to take steps to stem the tide of visa overstays and restore some order out of chaos when it comes to this flaw in our immigration system. Border security, as I indicated, is more than just admitting people to the United States. It starts with identifying the right people before they leave their home country to come to the United States, knowing once they are here, and ensuring that they depart when their terms of their visa expires. I was pleased, continue to be pleased, by the news of the apprehensions along the southern border. While we have this strange idea that the fewer people that are detained is actually a sign of success, we, I guess, have a common belief that that represents fewer people trying to make it across, and thus the only indicator we really have. But to me, it's some indication that deterrence actually works. When the message is sent that either people are going to be detained at the border when they come across, or otherwise by law enforcement if they commit crimes in our country, it's clear to me that the President's executive orders and the enforcement policies of the Department of Homeland Security and Justice are having an impact in deterrence alone. But we haven't seen the same drop in visa overstays. Most overstays have banked on the fact that no one would even be looking for them because of lax enforcement and no real network or system to comprehensively identify people who overstay their visa and invite them to return home after their period of their visa expires. So they could just stay until the United States and until they become eligible for some sort of benefit merely through the passage of time. The two DHS overstay reports for 2015 and 2016 reveal just how big the problem is. In 2016 alone, more than 700,000 aliens stayed in the United States past their authorized time, 700,000. And while that may seem like a relatively small number compared to the millions of foreign nationals who come to the United States every year, it's still a significant number. The magnitude of the problem cannot be overstated. Those who come to the United States on legal visas but are intent to do harm count on the fact that they can easily overstay their visas and blend into the fabric of American society. Let's not forget that one of the worst terrorist attacks on U.S. soil, 9/11, was carried out by 19 hijackers, 5 of whom were visa overstays. Prior administrations have not made visa overstay enforcement a priority or devote the necessary resources to get the job done. President Trump, Secretary Kelly, and Attorney General Sessions have made it clear, though, that visa overstay enforcement will be a priority, and for me that is welcome news. But it doesn't end there. Congress has a job to do as well. We need to eliminate some of the incentives for people to overstay. This includes making it clear in the law that if you deliberately overstay your visa, you won't be eligible for any immigration benefit in the future, ever. Finally, we need to have a complete biometric exit program in place. This is something we've been talking about the entire time I've been here in the Senate through the U.S. visit program. No effective way to date of determining when people exit, especially if they leave at land ports, through land ports of entry. But I'm hoping that technology will provide us additional tools to do that. But we need an effective biometric exit program in place no matter how people come and go, whether by air, sea, or land ports of entry. So I hope to hear today about the progress ICE and CBP have made in streamlining access to systems that better track visa overstays.
Experts estimate that more than 40% of the more than 11 million undocumented immigrants in our country overstayed their visas. They came to the United States for a variety of reasons, with visas to visit, to go to school, to work, with the understanding they would stay for a time certain, and they overstayed. One of those I met, whose name was Teresa Lee. She came here on a visitor's visa, overstayed, and became the first dreamer, the person who inspired me to put in the DREAM Act 16 years ago. One little thing I ought to add. Teresa was 2 years old when she was brought in on a visitor's visa. She didn't realize till much later in life that her mom didn't file the right papers and that she was here illegally. So there are some who are culpable, I'm sure, and have made a decision they're going to overstay their visas and see what happens. There are many, though, who may be innocent. And as we categorize people, let's at least be mindful of the fact that they're different people in different circumstances.